Hello, everybody. Tracy Mrs. JDog Flanagan with you here today. I'm the co-founder and senior vice president at JDog Brands. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Tactical Treasures podcast, powered by the JDog Foundation. Our podcast gives veterans, mil spouses, active military members, military family members, and patriotic military supporters a voice in the veteran space to speak about their service, how they're affecting their communities post-service, and they share with me a tactical treasure that has helped them in their journey in their military career, business, or life. Today, I'm so excited to have with me Jennifer Beeston, who is a distinguished mortgage originator and a proud military family member with her family having served in the Navy. Her father, excuse me. Renowned for her ability to simplify the mortgage process, she is consistently ranked among the top 1% of lenders in America since 2016 and currently is the number one VA loan officer in the nation. Jennifer's expertise has been featured in prominent publications such as U.S. News, Business Insider, Time, and NBC News. A passionate advocate for mortgage transparency and consumer empowerment, Jennifer is dedicated to making the mortgage process clear and accessible to all. Her commitment to consumer advocacy and client education led her to launch a YouTube channel in 2017, where she provides straightforward financial and mortgage information to empower individuals seeking to improve their financial well-being. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome to the podcast, and thank you so much for your father's service.
Well, thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to chat with you about everything veterans and military spouses need to know about VA mortgages.
Yes, yes. So lots to talk about, but before that, I would like to ask you about, could you talk a little bit about your dad's service? He went
Yeah,
in the Navy, and I know, in reading, I know that that's kind of had a profound effect on you. So I'd love to
yeah,
hear your
yeah.
take on
So,
it.
my father didn't grow up in a wealthy family. He was one of five boys, and he's of the era that when you graduated from high school, you got out of the house, you got the diploma, get out.
Right.
He was 17 at the time, and he ended up renting a room, and he was eating ketchup and bread sandwiches. Everything you'd expect in that situation. He joined the military because the military gave him opportunities he would never have. He wasn't in for a long time. He did 3 years, and then he ended up using the GI Bill. He got through college in 2 years, law school in 2 years, and it's his service that set up myself. I have, God, I can't even count them, too many, four sisters, right? It set up
Wow.
all of us for the future because of the sacrifice that he made early on. And honestly, it was really the opportunity the military gave him.
Wow. Wow. I love that story. That's incredible.
Yeah.
If you're served lemons, you make lemonade, right? So kind
Well,
of
and
like that.
I feel like we see so many people who do that, because I talk to veterans all day long, and like they're literally transforming their families' futures, whether if it's because of extended military service and all the opportunities they're getting from being in different parts of the world, the country, different cultures, or if it is using the GI Bill to further their future or using the VA mortgage. I have clients who are buying properties everywhere they go for their children in the future. So I just think there's a lot of opportunities there that we don't often think about. Maybe, maybe
Sure.
you do.
No, no, I agree with you there. Opportunities in the military, they can help you, get what you need to go to
Yeah.
college and that sort of thing. And that is a lot of times why people, sign up. So, but I wonder, did that sort of experience, did that kind of like empower you to go into the veteran space? Because now you're a mortgage, lender, but you are the number one VA loan officer. So I would love to hear how that journey happened.
Yeah, thank you. So I've been a mortgage lender for 18 years. I didn't start aggressively going after the VA space until probably about 2017 and 18. And what happened was there was a aha moment. And the area that I had been in California, I was a local lender. There wasn't a lot of military around, and although my dad had served, it was nothing I was hyper focused on. you're young, you're just doing your thing. But then I had a client where it really brought to my attention, oh my gosh, there's huge discrepancies between rates and fees that different lenders are offering. So I talked to my dad about it and I was like, Dad, did you know this? And he's like, Jenny, I didn't know that. I haven't used my VA since the 80s, but that's horrible and that needs to be fixed. So I went down a rabbit hole, with people at my company, different people in the mortgage industry, and started really understanding how lenders price VA loans. And that's when it became a mission, because VA is the space where we see so many predatory lender tactics, and it's wrong. It's just dead wrong. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, so the people who are protecting you, that's who you're going to take advantage of. You're going to take advantage of the trust. You're going to pretend like you're VA, or you're going to say, oh, VA sets the rates. That's a lie. It's just wrong. So it became a huge mission for me. And I say it all the time. I will retire when military members are known as the most aggressive rate and fee shoppers, because we're not talking about $100, Tracy. February 5th, what is that? 2 days ago? 2 days ago. I was chatting with a client and they basically told me that they were being charged $6.99 and $3,200. We locked them at 6.175 with no lender fees. That's so much money in
Sure
difference.
it is.
And
Yeah.
sometimes we see stuff even worse. We'll see that veterans being charged $18,000 in lender fees that they don't need to be charged. So
Wow.
I get a little, it's a hot topic for me, but it's because it's just
Yeah.
like, it's so wrong.
Right. Well, I love your passion, but you're right. Unfortunately, I think, if veterans are not aware of their benefits
Mhm.
or, what they can expect from, a VA loan, then it's very easy to be blindsided. I mean, you know, and, we kind of experienced it for ourselves. We're with USAA,
Mhm.
and, Jerry, being an Army veteran, had a house earlier in his life, never used his VA loan. And, we met and got married. And it wasn't until 2020 that we finally decided, we always rented, let's
Mhm.
buy a house. And so we went to USAA and he finally tapped into his VA loan, like never really realizing that, you know, he had that, he could
Mhm.
use it. And
Mhm.
again, we locked in a very low
Oh,
percentage rate at the time. And I mean, we saved so much money because we finally went that route, and, but yeah, if you don't know what you don't know, it can be very easy to be misled,
yeah.
unfortunately.
And I think the key thing that veterans need to know about VA, because there's not a lot of education on it, right? That's one of the big problems, is people don't even realize how good the benefit they have is. My dad's a great example. He hears me on the phone all the time and he's like, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do that. You can use your VA more than once. You can have multiple VA loans at the same time. We're seeing people where when they're active, if they're in a lower cost area, they'll buy when they're at that base, they turn it into a rental when they PCS, they buy another one zero down. It's going to depend on where people are stationed or living, but like, that's a couple of the things that people don't realize. Or they'll hear, a real estate agent said it's not a good loan. That's what you hear a lot of. And it's like, they don't know anything. It's the only loan that's zero down, no mortgage insurance.
Mhm.
The interest rates are always lower than conventional. Even if you have if you have an 800 credit score with conventional, 20% down, or you have a VA loan with a 620 credit score and no money down, I'm going to get you such a better rate on that VA loan than that conventional buyer is going to get. And I think that, just the more education, and, I'm screaming it from the rooftops, YouTube. I have a course now that's totally free, nostressva.com, that teaches veterans, in bite-sized videos, hey, this is how to use this benefit to build your future. Because historically, real estate is where the average American makes money, historically, right?
Mhm.
So,
Right.
I think the more veterans who understand they have this benefit and it's not hard to get, I think the better.
And I was just going to ask you, and I think you probably already answered the question, but please feel free to expand on it. I was going to say, how can veterans avoid getting ripped off?
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, YouTube, you started that, and talk to me about that and how your YouTube channel works. How often do you post videos, and talk to me about the VA loan course too.
Yeah, of course. So, look, education's everything. So, beyond the fact of shop the rates and fees, okay? And look, there's a couple big boy lenders out there where people go, "Oh, I've seen them on base forever. They're going to take care of me. Oh, their name has veterans in it. They're going to take care of me." Some of those companies charge the most because they've been marketing to you for so long. They know they don't have to try hard to keep you. Okay. Cannot stress that enough. So with YouTube, YouTube, I do VA every single Wednesday. And I've been doing that for years, but I also post on Monday and Friday about what's going on in the market because I do other loan types. That's also why I can confidently say this is why VA is so amazing, because I also do conventional. I do FHA, I do jumbo, I do USDA, you know, and I'm in 48 states and I have clients in 48 states. So I'm constantly talking about what's going on in the market, what to watch out with real estate agents, how to tell if your lender's taking care of you, all of that super basic stuff. And then the VA course, the nostressva.com, that's really for people who want to learn about the benefit inside and out. It's everything from like how to get your certificate of eligibility to how to buy a multi-unit with zero down with
Hello,
VA.
viewers and listeners. Are you a military veteran or a military family member and looking to own your own business? If so, go to jdog.com and check out our two veteran-focused franchises, JDog Junk Removal and Hauling and JDog Carpet Cleaning and Floor Care. Our franchisees nationwide are always looking to hire fellow veterans and patriots. JDog is the world's largest military franchise system with hundreds of locations nationwide. We are nearly 90% veteran owned with the goal of reducing the veteran unemployment rate to under 1%. Check us out. Go to jdog.com to learn more. Now, back to the podcast. That's great. And how long is that course? You say that it's little short videos?
I mean, honestly, I should know that answer. It's funny. My son has me building it. So my son works with me now part-time. He's in college. And
Oh, that's great.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
And
the young ones in with tech, right?
oh man, he's
And
disappointed
it's
in
just
me. It's a good thing though. So look, that course, I always tell people pick and choose what you want. There's probably 30 to 35 5-minute videos. And then there's
oh
always
wow.
additional links where it's like, okay, you want to learn more about credit. Here's YouTube videos that I've done. Like I have over 3,000 YouTube videos. I'm really passionate
Wow.
about making a difference for consumers, but also, you know, even outside the veteran space. So many people in America think they'll never own a home, but they
Mm.
totally qualify. They hear all the negative news and they never try. And so I'm trying to change that so that at least people know what their opportunities are.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. Yeah, I never thought I would own a home either. Just, and
Did your
I
parents
was
own
always
a house
nervous.
or no?
What?
Did your parents own a house or no?
Yes, yes, they
Okay.
did. But I just the way my life was,
Mhm.
I rented, and I just never owned a home. And the older I got, the more scared I got of owning a home. And then, when Jerry and I met and married, we were always in the entrepreneur space
Mhm.
and very nervous because, if you have your own business, God forbid something happens, they come take the house. And so we were just always very nervous about that. And finally, oh my gosh, when I was signing those closing papers, I was like, oh no, what am I doing? But, it was, the process ended up being easier than I thought. And, I mean, it's, I walk around my house and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I own my own house.
And that's
So,
really
but,
common. That's the thing is there's so many people that think that they're not going to own a house or it doesn't make
mhm,
sense, and look, I'm one of those people. When I got out of college, I was a disaster financially. Like I didn't know what I was doing, right? And you think that no matter how you change your life and everything else, you always think like, I can't, I can't, or it's a bigger risk. Here's what one of my bosses told me early in my career before I bought my first house in my name, because I was scared too, and I was like,
mhm,
I don't know. And look, it's what I do for a living, but I was still scared, you know,
yeah,
and I get
sure.
that. Like, I built my whole process for pre approving people based on my level of anxiety. So everybody's fully
That's good.
underwritten. They have like, we go through it. But he said to me, he goes, Jen, if you ever fell on hard times, it's going to take them a lot longer to foreclose on a house than a landlord to kick you out. And he's right. And that's the
Wow.
thing is that if for any and look, we're never aiming for foreclosure, obviously, right? But
Right.
that is one of the big fears is, well, what do I do? And, it's like with a mortgage, when we see people who lose jobs and they can't make their payments, you can reach out to your servicer and you can go into forbearance where they don't collect the payments for a while. And look, ultimately they modify the mortgage. It can be a hassle, sometimes problematic, sometimes good, but there's an option. Whereas the landlord's knocking at your door going, Tracy, it's been 3 months.
You're right.
Come
Yeah.
on. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to remove the fear. So I hope that people, if anyone listening to this is like, I want to buy a house, but I'm scared, like just call us or call any lender or call us because we're nice. But, that
Yeah.
that's sometimes people email me on YouTube and they're like, they'll put in the comments, like, I talked to this lender, they were so mean, I didn't want to buy a house ever. And I'm like, no, 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 you just talked to a jerk. Like, call the nice
Right.
people. But that's the thing, like, try. We've had clients. I always think about this client, Pam. I love her so much. She called us like 4 years ago and at the time didn't have a job, terrible credit. It was a mess, right? But she wanted to get a house. So we said, okay, Pam, here's what you need to do. She came back a couple years later. She's been a homeowner for 2 years now. She did it. She did it.
Right.
So she started off in this, really difficult financial situation. She got her roadmap and she put her mind to it and she's a homeowner.
Yeah.
And her life's
Yeah.
better off overall as well because everything's been fixed.
Right. And you don't realize too that home ownership, that's yeah, it's a liability because you have a mortgage, but it's equity. It's an asset. You
Mhm.
just don't realize it. So yeah, I mean, if you don't have knowledge, everything looks fearful. But with knowledge, it can be empowering.
A
So
hundred
yeah.
percent. And also there's just so much negativity right now. Like if you look at the news cycle or YouTube, because everybody's using these clickbait headlines because
Mm,
that's how they get more money. It's super simple,
sure. Yeah.
and unfortunately, they're not talking about housing from a historical perspective. Everybody loves to talk about 2008, right? Just like we all like to talk about the stock market crash of 1929,
Right.
but that's not what happened. So I think people just have to look at, okay, what do I want my long term plan to look like? And then put the puzzle pieces together.
Right. Right. Um, so this has been great. It's been very informative. And yeah, the moral of the story, everybody needs to call you and veterans need to get educated.
Well, I mean, yeah, because it's like,
Watch your YouTube channel.
yeah,
Yeah.
go to YouTube and, look, the last thing I'm going to say, because Tracy, I could keep you hostage for a long time and you'd be like, help me. I'm going to be a mortgage lender by the end. One of the other big fears is credit. And here's the thing,
Mm,
VA itself does not have a credit score requirement. Lenders do. In our
mm,
situation, we don't, but we look at credit history. So, for example, I've seen people where their credit's 560, 570. but they don't have any lates within a year. It was an isolated experience. Like sometimes getting VA disability when you get out, stuff like that happens. And what
Yeah.
people need to know is that lenders can get past that. Just 1 year with no lates. So I just wanted to put that out there because I know that's something that I see a good amount of. And I know that people have been discouraged by other lenders because they may have rules that don't, um, that it's not a real VA guideline.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Jen,
Yes.
as we're wrapping up here, I do have one burning question to ask you.
Okay.
This is the Tactical Treasures podcast. So I need to ask you, what is your tactical treasure, Jen?
I
What are
don't
you
know
going
if
to share with
I don't know if
us?
I'm going to word this right, Tracy. Okay, so my advice for anyone in business, starting a business, use your voice and don't be afraid. And I say that because I'm in an industry where traditionally people do not speak up. They don't talk about, a real estate agent doing something bad or a mortgage lender doing something bad. There's kind of this wall of silence. And I have to tell you that telling the truth and using my voice has been the best thing for my business ever. And I encourage more people to do that. So hopefully that counts as a tactical treasure.
Yes, that counts as a tactical treasure. I
Okay.
love it. Um, so, any more advice for fellow veterans buying a house?
um, yeah, I mean, definitely shop lenders and rates. Make sure you're working with a lender that actually knows how to do VA loans. Not every lender, it's not like we get out of lender school, there's no such thing, and get taught it. So sometimes you may be told that you don't qualify when you do, and the reverse. So look for an expert, shop rates and fees, watch a couple videos. Like they're going to be a little annoying, but I do get some jokes in. But just make sure you're prepared because it's a big purchase. That would
Sure,
be
it
my
is.
advice.
Yeah, education's everything, right?
Mhm.
Know exactly what you're kind of doing as you walk into it, right? Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, that's great advice. Okay, so before you go, how can people find and connect with you?
Mhm.
And where can they find out more information on the VA loan course and your YouTube channel? What is
Yeah.
that?
So YouTube, you just look for Jennifer Beeston, and I think it's all here. And then people can always call us at 786-933-2077. I have a team of awesome, wonderful people. And it's people who have been in the mortgage industry for a long time. And they've come to my team because they want to change things. So always feel free to reach out with us. Even if you're working with another lender and you're like, hey, is this right? Am I getting a good deal? We'll always look at it. We'll look at it and be like, yeah, that's a great deal. Like high five your lender. Or we'll be like, oh my God, let us save you. So
Yeah.
call us 786-933-2077. We're here to make sure that you're in a good position.
And an email, people want to reach out to
Oh,
email.
yeah. Email is going to be beeston@rate.com. Super easy. The course is nostressva.com. If you Google me, you will see that I am everywhere. Tracy, I'm screaming.
Okay.
I'm screaming from the mountaintops. Like I want veterans to understand their benefit, and I don't want people to be afraid of home ownership. Um, it's something I see a lot of, and it makes me a little sad, and I want to change it.
Yeah, I love it. You're doing great work. I love your passion.
Thank you.
And yes, you are screaming from the rooftops. I Googled your name and all this stuff came up. It was amazing. It was
Thank
great.
you.
So no excuse for not being able to find you. You're definitely out there. So, Jennifer, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for all this really awesome information. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me on so that I can scream some more and hopefully help a couple people not be afraid and make sure they're getting a good deal.
That's great. Thank you. Hello, viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Tactical Treasures podcast. We just finished up a very enlightening conversation with Jennifer Beeston, who is a distinguished mortgage originator and a proud military family member. She is ranked among the top 1% of lenders in America since 2016 and currently is the #1 VA loan officer in the nation. With over 750 50 5-star Google reviews from happy clients, licensed in 48 states and offering VA, VHA, conventional, jumbo, and investor mortgages, Jennifer wants to help you buy your dream home. You can connect with her at zerostressmortgage.com, and you can find her on YouTube. Just search Jennifer Beeston, and Beeston is spelled Beeston, or call her at 786-933-2077, or email her at beeston@rate.com. If you are a veteran, be sure to check out her free VA loan course at nostressva.com. Again, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, you can find our Tactical Treasures podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms, including Vet TV, American Grit, and our dedicated YouTube channel. We are now airing on Reese Across America Radio on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you miss that, be sure to join us on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern for the encore. You can also find Reese Across America Radio on the iHeartRadio app, the Odyssey app, and the TuneIn app. Again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again on another podcast real soon. Bye-bye now.